In today's story, we look at a woman who divorces her husband in search of better action in bed, only to get pumped and dumped, hits the wall, and comes to the realization that she has no place in her ex-husband's life. My name is Ted. I am 47-year-old and my ex-wife Kathy is currently 43-year-old. It all began when I was 27 years old and Kathy was 24. We were both at a local music festival, and our paths crossed in a way that felt like destiny. The festival was buzzing with excitement, and the music was infectious. I found myself drawn to a particular band playing on the main stage, and as I joined the crowd, I noticed a group of friends who seemed to be enjoying the music as much as I was. Kathy was among them, her eyes sparkling with the same enthusiasm that had drawn me in. Feeling a burst of confidence, I struck up a conversation with Kathy and her friends. We chatted about our favorite bands, shared our festival experiences, and quickly discovered that we had a lot in common. Kathy had a magnetic personality, and her laughter was infectious. We couldn't stop talking, and it felt like we'd known each other for years rather than just a few minutes. As the festival continued, Kathy and I spent more time together. We danced, laughed, and enjoyed the music, creating memories that would last a lifetime. We even ventured to try some of the festival's unique food offerings, sharing the excitement of new tastes and experiences. By the end of the festival, it was clear that something special had sparked between us. We exchanged contact information, promising to stay in touch. In the weeks that followed, we went on more dates, exploring our shared interests and deepening our connection. Our love grew, and it was clear to both of us that we were meant to be together. After several years of being a couple, I decided to ask Kathy the most important question of my life. I took her back to the same music festival where we had first met, and there, amidst the music and festivities, I got down on one knee and asked her to marry me. With tears of joy in her eyes, Kathy said yes. 20 years later, we have one son who is working with me in our garage, two more who are 10 and 12 years old. Kathy used to work as a hairdresser and I used to work at an auto repair station. I happened to inherit that from my father, and after so many years I plan to retire from here. Coming back to my wife, she had always been a pillar of strength for me, and never in my life I thought one day we will be separated. Over a period of time, she has evolved from being a small-town girl to a metropolitan babe. Her dressing sense had evolved. She used to wear short skirts and some cleavage popping out. She has a good following on Instagram and TikTok. Being a hairdresser, she had to show off and look good on camera. I never was interested in social media and did not check what she was posting online. I just loved her company at home. Our live was good, so as I thought. On one fine day, Kathy came home and handed me an envelope, and it had divorce papers. I was shocked and felt like my entire house just collapsed on me head. I called my son and explained him what has happened. He was silent and told me that he does not want to talk about that. I guess he is more hurt than me. I tried reasoning with my wife and asked if there is something I had done, or is there someone else that she wants to be with. To my surprise, she said that she wants to be free and work on herself. I could not understand what that means. I asked her to explain. She said that life had become boring and she needs some excitement in her life. She wants to meet new people and go places. I asked if she would not reconsider this for our kids. She said that the older one is already working and does not need mommy anymore. For the other two, she said that she will take care of them alone. I was worried for my kids. She has no experience with finances, and even though she has been working for such a long time, she makes me manage her finances. She did not pay any heed to any argument and just packed her bags and left for her new pad with my two kids. She was planning to leave me for quite some time, I guess. A few days later, we got our divorce done, and my eldest son came home and sat down with me. I hugged him and said I am sorry that I could not save my family. He consoled me and took me out for a drink. He made sure that I get back to the normal world. He helped me connect with the world again. A few days later, I came across an account on TikTok that happened to be of my wife. I started to follow the account, and one fine day video notification popped up. The title, "I Did It." She said,
It's kind of a long story. I'll try and see if I can fit it in 60 seconds. So we met in our early 20s. We got married at 27, and we did not have the connection and the chemistry that we should have, if that makes sense, in like the bedroom. And I married the nice guy, and he married the hot girl. And we were best friends. Got along so well. We did not fight. We got along so well. But after 14 years together, 12 years married, that lack of chemistry and connection became a huge hole in our marriage. And we filled it with other people. So it was just, our marriage had run its course and we had our kids together, and that.
I stopped midway and I was furious. Lack of chemistry in bed. For heaven's sake, I pumped out 3 kids out of her. At 43 years of age, what action is she looking for? Does she want Chad and Tyrone pump her? That happens only in corn movies, not real life. I did not discuss this with my son as I felt ashamed of what my ex-wife was narrating in that video. A few days later, I saw another video. She said,
So my divorce post is not rare. Yeah, so did I know before I got married? Of course I did. I was 27 when I got married. I was 26 when I got engaged. You think you know everything in your 20s. And everyone had told me my entire life, passion fades, passion fades, passion fades. So I took that as you didn't need it. If it fades, why do you even need it? Better off to marry the nice guy, right? I had dated all the douchebags in my 20s and had my heart broken. So I was like, I'm going to go with the nice guy. And to be perfectly honest, he'd been a nerd in high school. He'd never gotten the pretty girls. And I think he married me because I was beautiful. I am beautiful, you know? And we were best friends. Best friends. And that carried us along for a long time.
I was never a nerd. I was an amateur wrestler and also competed in kickboxing till an injury cut my career short. Yes, my wife is beautiful, no doubt. I was not happy with what she was putting on social media. If you have left me, leave me. Why do you keep talking about me? The last straw came 2 days later. In a new video, she made some very weird statements.
All right, here's a little story. Fellas, pay attention. So I don't just do hair, I actually own a salon. And one of my other stylists has a client, and every time she comes in to get her hair done, which isn't all the time, but it's often enough, her husband gets there hours before her to drop off a box of chocolates for her. This man leaves his home, goes to the chocolate store, which is 2 doors down, buys this woman a box of chocolates, and drops them off at the salon. So when his wife gets there, her stylist presents her with a box of chocolates, and she gets her hair done. Now, I don't need you to be exclusive with me, but I'm looking for that level of commitment. I'm looking for a man who's going to bring me chocolates to my hair appointment. Or coffee.
Hypocrisy at the highest level. A woman who left her family is talking about commitments. I personally know the couple. They have been married for the last 25 years. They know each other since kindergarten and have been together almost all their life. That is commitment. I had a discussion with my son, and he suggested that I started dating again. I was surprised, and such a suggestion coming from my son was a bit awkward. However, I took his suggestion and installed a new dating app, and he helped me set up my account. I was surprised that I was getting noticed, and within a week, I was on 3 different dates. It got my confidence back, and in a month, I had dated 12 women and even got lucky on 2 occasions. However, I was still not feeling the sense of being loved. So, I reduced my outings, and eventually after a few weeks I found an amazing woman who I was able to connect instantly. She happened to be my eldest son's teacher from his school. I was feeling loved again and was happy with her being present in my life. I was still looking at my wife's videos, which over the last few days had become a bit gloomy. She had started looking old in the videos, and it seems that she was having a hard time. My son told me that she tried to reach out to him on several occasions, only to find that she wanted to get help around the household like changing a bulb and moving furniture. He said that now he has started to ignore her calls. A few days later, another video surfaced.
Always just trying to keep it real, but... And I'm not the lady who cries on TikTok, but sometimes being a single mom is hard. Because you don't have anybody else to rely on except for yourself. And so my hot water heater went out, and I now have to miss my youngest son's flag football game, which I only get to go to every other week because I work on the weekends that I don't have them. And now I have to miss it because I have to stay home for a damn hot water heater to be installed. And it's just super frustrating at times because I'm the only adult in the house. And so now I have to leave him and go do that. And sometimes it's just hard to not have anybody to rely on. And yes, while I have a boyfriend, he doesn't know my kids. They're not involved. And so he can't be at my house. He can't help. It's just me. It's just me. And sometimes it's hard. And that's real.
I laughed at her condition. I guess now she knows why our ancestors had a tradition called marriage. Why we have a man and woman in a household. A few days later, I got a call from her. I was surprised and answered the phone. She asked for money as she had spent a good fortune in getting her pad renovated. I had given a lump sum amount as part of our divorce settlement. She stated that she invested that money in her new boyfriend's business and it has not taken off yet. Her boyfriend is a 27-year-old college dropout with big plans. I told her that it was no longer my responsibility to take care of her and I will only pay for my kids' upbringings. At that moment, I was worried for my 2 sons. She started crying and I told her that I want my sons to stay with me so that she is able to manage her finances better. She reluctantly agreed. I quickly called my lawyer and made arrangements for the same. I got the custody for my kids, and now they are with me. I did part way with a lot of money as it was for her approval. I did not mind letting go of the money as long as my kids are safe. Keeping my kids with her would have got her more money out of me. However, as I knew, she was never good with finances. I know I am being selfish, but it is for the good of my kids. After a few months of calm, I got her call again and she just started crying. I asked her what happened. She told me that her boyfriend has abandoned her. She kept crying and said that she did so much for him. She invested all her money and she gave him love, and he just left one day. Karma is savage. I heard all her sob story and then asked what she wants from me. She asked if she can borrow some money as she had put her business as collateral for a loan she took for her boyfriend's business. I was shocked. How can she be that stupid? I abruptly stopped her and told her that I will no longer be part of her misery and asked not to call again for money. She shouted and started blaming me for our separation and said I did not try enough to make our marriage work. I shot back stating that I did not try because I was a nerd and nerds don't know how to be with women. She was taken aback. I then told her that she needs to start taking ownership of her actions and face the consequences alone. She cried a bit more and started apologizing and asked if she can come back in my life as my wife. I told her that she was not required anymore as my marital bed is not empty. She was shocked and started shouting how dare I start dating, and even went further calling me a cheater. I could not hold my demeanor anymore. I shouted back at her and told her to buzz off. Over the next few days, she kept calling and I kept ignoring her calls. I wanted her to know that she is no longer a part of my life. I left on vacation with my new girlfriend, posted some of our happy pictures on social media. As expected, my ex-wife started commenting some nasty stuff on these pictures. Before I could do anything, a lot of people hurled even more nasty things on her comments. She was berated online, and people called her a jealous ex and many nasty words. People told her to get a life and move on. One of the comments stated, "Did your new stud fail to perform? You made your bed. Sleep in it." I guess she got the message. People were not having her BS anymore. It has been 1 year since then. I have not yet married but plan to get married soon. My ex-wife is still upset, and I really don't care. I do have to meet her on weekends as she has visitation right to our kids. I do not engage with her in any way. Our interaction is just silent. A wise man once said, "Foo *k around and find out." Dear listeners, please share your thoughts in the comments section below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.